Dire team ban.
Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the NanYang Championship Season 2 SEA Qualifier. We're here in the semi-finals, Mineski versus WarriorsGaming.Unity, and this is Game 2 of our best of 3, as we will find ourselves, well, Warriors Gaming will find themselves a 1-0 lead here in this best of 3 series. I'm Baskip here providing the commentary. Joining me, well, somewhat, is Lyrical. He's hosting the stream and he's going to be doing the observing as well. And let's get ourselves straight into this draft. We've got an Earth Spirit and a Death Prophet banned up by Mineski. They struggled incredibly against the Death Prophet in the previous game, so no big surprises to see it banned out here. I talked about the Darkseer in the previous draft as a hero that both teams do favor a decent amount, so we're going to be seeing that banned out, along with the Alchemist here for WG. And Mineski, the first overall grab, is going to end up being the Phoenix. Got away with fewer changes than I expected in the recent 6.88 patch, so still definitely a very strong hero overall, and not too surprised to see it grabbed up here. I would be interested to see if the Slardar makes it deeper into the draft this time around than it did in the previous game. Warriors Gaming don't want to give away the Faceless Void combo, so they're going to take that for themselves, and I guess we'll now have to see how they look to use that Chronosphere. Still tons of good options in the pool. And the Elder Titan is definitely one of them. I was going to throw out maybe a Skywrath Mage as well, not too bad against the Phoenix. But I think the Elder Titan is another one of those heroes that seems to have been adapting to use against the Phoenix somewhat. We've seen a lot of iteration in terms of how teams try to deal with Sunray. We've seen Earth Spirits trying to land good Boulder Smashes or good Silences from reasonably far away. The Echo Stomp is a decent way. We saw a little bit of Nyx Assassin, which immediately fell off the map. But I think the Elder Titan, it seems like a decent solution here for WG. And it's only going to amplify whatever else they look to throw into that Chrono natural order. So definitely good opportunities for them. And Mineski just going to grab themselves a Beastmaster. I think both teams are already fairly well equipped Lifestealers, so I don't know if we'll be seeing it banned. Maybe both teams are still considering it, but Roar and Chronosphere are both good ways to deal with the Nyx. And I guess if we're going to be seeing it from anyone, it's probably going to be Mineski, if I had to guess. I think it's a little bit anti-synergistic with the Faceless Void, if anything. But moving into this next round of bans, the Disruptor was a very solid pickup for Mineski in the previous game, but they've now got the Phoenix on the lineup already, so I don't know if we'll be seeing it. It is still really good with the Beastmaster, of course. You've got the Hawk Vision to be able to get those long-range glimpses back, and it's also a pretty solid hero against the Faceless Void, both in lane and in the game as a whole. So it could still be an option for them. Maybe that's something that we see Warriors Gaming ban out, but they're going to have to think about what their overall strategy is. Mineski want to be ultra greedy, of course. They could run the Beastmaster in the jungle, and then Phoenix would be their 5-position support, but it does seem a little bit unlikely, so I feel like they have given away a bit in terms of this 1-2 punch that they've grabbed in the early game. Often when you pick up the Beastmaster, you kind of want to keep it open. You want to leave it ambiguous as to whether or not he's going to be jungling or whether he's going to be offlaning. Kind of like the Faceless Void is a little bit ambiguous here for WG. They can either run the Faceless Void in the off lane, or it could be run in the safe lane, keeping their options open there. But alright, they are just going to end up banning out the Slardar. I think is A-OK, would still fit into Mineski's lineup just fine. And they are over on the Dire side, so I think there's that little bit of to be banning out those easy Roshan heroes that could prove a little bit troublesome. But Doom is also going to be removed here. I get the feeling that some of this is just for the Faceless Void. There could still be something coming a little bit further into the draft as well that would be that would struggle a little bit against some of these heroes. I think the Slark ban from that perspective is actually very heads up, but it does also pave the way a little bit for this Invoker grab, which is definitely a very good hero with the Faceless Void. Good with the Elder Titan as well, especially if you're going QE, which I would expect to see this game. the Echo Stomp set up into some Sunstrikes, and just generally pretty solid here. I think a hero that Warriors Gaming have picked quite a bit as of late. Actually, no, only 4 games in the last month, but a pretty impressive 75% win rate. And when I say not that many games, there's 4 games on Invoker, but their most picked hero in the last month is Lion at 8 games. So still a pretty common pick for them overall. But Warriors Gaming have used quite a bit of their reserve time. Still have room to pick up another support here, which I think will probably be the grab. Yeah, just going for the Lion as I say that. Pretty decent to have against the Phoenix. Good all-round support. Never really unhappy to have him on the lineup, and gives them even more setup for the. So not only can the Faceless Void set up for a Sunstrike, and the Elder Titan can set up for a Sunstrike, the Lion can also set up a Strike, and that's a combo that we've been seeing for a very long time. Mineski, their answer to the Invoker is going to be the Templar Assassin, who is also not too shabby against the Faceless Void, so I like this grab. It also gives them some more Roshan potential, along with the Vengeful Spirit, which is something about a little bit earlier. The Venge is also quite nice to deal with the Chrono, swap people out, keep them safe. So I think that's a pretty good look there for them. Also not too bad for swapping people out against line initiations and that kind of thing. But I do feel that the teamfight edge is with Warriors Gaming right now. So Mineski either going to have to play this relatively pick-off oriented, or they're going to have to really add a bunch of teamfight to the lineup with their last pick, though I don't know how exactly they would look to do that. There is still, there's still a Medusa in the pool. It has synergy with Phoenix, but I don't think you want to be playing Medusa against and the Lion. Who else? What could they look towards here? You definitely do not want to pick Morphling. He can survive the Chrono, but he doesn't survive against Natural Order at all. What other options do they have? There's a Sven, but there's nothing particularly inspiring about Sven. The game, you're not even really countering all that much. The Warcry can be nice. Give your team some extra armor after it all gets, well, after all their base armor gets stripped away by the Elder Titan, but I'm a little bit stumped, and I feel like Mineski might be a tiny bit stumped as well. Could they look to go aggressive here? Not really. I don't think the Faceless Void versus Beastmaster matchup is good enough for the Beastmaster to warrant going aggro. If they went aggro, they would pin the supports away from mid lane, which would leave the Templar Assassin to go to work and give the Invoker a hard time, but that's another matchup where I don't think it's one-sided enough to justify going aggro, and I do think they want to get some levels up on Phoenix if at all possible, so. And they want that opportunity to be able to gank the Invoker. They've got Avenge, they've got a Phoenix, only got kill potential on the middle lane. Looks like Mineski going to use up all of their reserve time here to try and put something together. And they are going to go with the core Vengeful Spirit. Alright, 1 position Venge. Final grab is Rubik. This is not an awful Rubik game by any means. Plenty of good spells to steal. Lion's great, Invoker's great. Chronosphere you have to be really careful with, but can be quite good. And Warriors Gaming, not a whole lot of time left to respond to this, but I feel like they've got lots of options. So I mentioned the Sven for Mineski. It could be alright for Warriors Gaming. If they want more ways to deal with the Templar Assassin, could look at something like that, but alright, just gonna end up going for the Clinks. Good synergy with the Void. They have made their lineup very heavily focused on the Void landing his initiations, but that shouldn't be too difficult with the Lion and the Elder Titan jumping in and stomping respectively. And I do like the Clinks from the perspective of dealing with the super of the strafe. So also Mineski have quite a few squishy heroes that the Clinks roam around and give a hard time to. So certainly not the worst pickup in the world, but I am interested to see how this Vengeful Spirit ends up. Mineski as we load ourselves into the game, and we'll have another pause. Oh, SEA Doto. How I've missed you. This is all too familiar with the immediate pause right at the start of the... Alright, looks like we're ready to go. So let's get underway with some introductions. We're going to start with Mineski. Over on Mineski we have Raging Potato playing that Vengeful Spirit. Jules is going to be on the Phoenix, Bacarino on the Beastmaster, Cast on the Rubik, and Ben-Hur finally on the Templar Assassin. He's going to be looking for a little bit of revenge this game after a somewhat poor mid-performance in the previous game. And over on Warriors Gaming, we have Afu on the Elder Titan, got Zaki on the Lion, got Ajit on the Clinks, got Wen once again on the Faceless Void. Finally, heading towards mid, we'll have Nana on the Invoker. He's opted for the Wraith Band here, so it looks like we'll be seeing an early Ring of Aquila out of him. The main motivation for this build is if you go Null Talisman and you get a Bassi, which is definitely good on Invoker, then you end up selling the Null Talisman a little bit quickly once you start getting drum components, but with this you can kind of hold on to the stats a little bit longer, and it's not that much worse. We've got an early smoke making its way out, but Warriors Gaming will deftly dodge that. I don't know if they've spotted the heroes, but at least break the smoke. Faceless Void also looking like he's not going to be caught. Rubik running forward very aggressively. We're not going to see any action here. The Phoenix even had a Dust ready to go just in case the Clinks was mysteriously invis and trying to scout them out, so they were prepared for all eventualities, but
the battle begins.
Not going to end up finding anything this time around. And Invoker does even manage to sneak over towards the top rune and grab that up for himself. As it looks like Mineski are actually going to be settling into an aggressive tri-lane of their own here, so... Alright, looks like they are going to opt for the aggro try, which I find a little bit surprising. Again, I don't think that the Beastmaster Void matchup is that awful, and I think they wanted to keep their supports free to rotate towards mid. And it looks like Warriors Gaming, they've realized what's going on. They know that aggression means that Mineski are going to go aggro, and they're just going to swap up the lanes. Faceless Void's going to take the safe lane, Clinks is heading towards the off lane, and well, Mineski a little bit empty-handed for the time being. They don't have another smoke to try and make an attempt on the Invoker just yet, but let's see that grabbed up kinda quickly. Looks like Cast is going to try for some side pulls and similar shenanigans here going on for Zaki on the top side of the map, but Warriors Gaming do manage to dodge early aggression here. And they're just going to split up. Jules going to make his way towards the top side. Cast still just guarding this pull at the moment. We got a bit of action coming out with the Sunray, some damage being done by Bacarino with the double bores, but no real kill opportunity there. It's just some harassment. As far as the mid lane goes, pretty hotly contested so far, but it looks like he's actually doing just fine for himself. Ben-Hur really wants this Forge Spirit kill, and he is going to grab it, so it helps to protect his refraction charges a little bit there, but Invoker's still just swiping away at him. Taking a little bit of Sideblade damage here and there. Neither one of them wants to be the first one to pop their salve, but it looks like that little bit of extra Sideblade spill, Invoker is going to be forced to back himself up. This is a winning matchup, PA, but not that crazy a winning matchup. Nana's going to go for a kill here. Ben-Hur loses all of his refraction charges pretty much immediately. Should be one more touch to do it. Still has the Fairy Fire. His salve now, so a little bit ahead in terms of the regen war, but then loses a bit of the salve by running in and getting auto attacked anyway. Alright, so much for that win on the regen battle. Still winning on CS, but Invoker, I thought he was ferrying out some more regen, but he's actually just ferrying out Windlace and a Sobi Man. Elder Titan was level 2, I think he would go for this kill on mid lane, but he doesn't have it quite yet. Does find himself a haste. Afu gonna scoot his way up towards the top side of the map, looking to pick up some extra creeps there with the Spirit as he runs himself in. The dive gets immediately canceled by Zaki, and looks like this is going to be your first blood on Jules. One last punch and an auto attack from the Lion is going to do it, and Bacarino's now in some trouble, going to have to micro this boar perfectly to get out, and even then, I don't think he's going to make it. He goes for the axes. He's trying to get this kill on the Clinks. They hex up the boar. Zaki with the last minute decisions are going to keep the Clinks alive. The boar is still going for it, but he's got the Tango regen. Najit will just barely survive end of the day. They do end up losing the Lion to the creep wave. So Zaki is the real hero there. Sunray now coming in, but Jules canceling it? Seemingly, I think he hit the wrong button. I think he meant to hit the move forward button, and instead he hit the cancel my Sunray button. Definitely not the button that he was looking for, but... Alright, mid lane, Ben-Hur does take an advantage here. They manages to push the Invoker all the way back to the fountain. Bottom lane, Void, not really getting zoned out too much, does have his level 4. Bacarino's now down here to put some pressure on him, but... just kind of musical lanes happening all across the map. Rubik is stacking up some Ancients. Going to be handed over to the Templar Assassin. TA is really the big damage dealer for their lineup right now. Vengeful Spirit's going to get some farm. It's going to be useful, but it's mostly about pulling up that Deso on the TA, getting her an Aegis, and just letting Templar Assassin go to town. Put an Invis rune on this Rubik, but running up towards the top side. Scouting the WG supports as they make their way in. Jules is also here on the Phoenix, and they've got... what are the pincer going on? Looks like Zaki is going to be the one in trouble. Assassin running over, but he gets the 2-man stun. He's still got the Hex available, and a stop hits on all three. They drop down the Ice Wall onto Ben-Hur. The dive comes through. They still at least want to get this kill onto Zaki, so Jules is going to be looking for it. The Courier's flying into the midst of this as well. Zaki with one more stun, going to get the kill onto the Phoenix. Beautiful play from Warriors Gaming there, and it was even Mineski getting the jump. They had the Invis rune on the Rubik, they had the lift to start everything off, but perfect counter initiation from the Elder Titan, as we've come to expect from this hero, and that's going to be a 5-for-1 lead. Warriors Gaming in the early stage of the game. Oh man. Alright, so everyone's getting farm. Pretty much every single core is around 20 CS at the moment, so should be a pretty entertaining game from that point of view. The Phoenix is level 3. And alright. The Clinks is still chilling in this offlane right now. He needs to be a little bit careful. Rubik is eyeing him up right now. The Dire Observer Ward is going to scout the fact that the Lion is making his way in. They get the lift off, they get the dust off. But in comes another counter-initiating stun from the Lion. They're going to drop down the Sunray looking for this kill. Cast, juking into the fog. Going to survive courtesy of a salve and a little bit of Sunray help. Zaki getting auto-attacked, but he's going to be alright. At the same time, the Beastmaster does actually end up dropping on the bottom side of the map. Looks like Chronosphere dropped down. Spirit, auto-attacks. Nice easy kill for Warriors Gaming as they still hold on to this lead. In terms of an overall lead, I don't know if we really have one. It looks like about a 1k experience, about a 2k net worth lead, in fact, at this early stage for them. So we'll see if they can continue to hold on to that as we move our way forward. As Ben-Hur has ditched the middle lane to go jungle up a little bit. I don't know what... I guess he feels like he's just fallen a little behind against the Invoker. He's only 5 CS down, but the Invoker has 18 denies. So Nana is really putting in a lot of work here on the mid lane. Zaki, in some trouble. Not going to run into the range of the magic missile though, but Cast is waiting for him with a double damage, and Zaki, wondering how he found himself in this situation, is just going to throw out one last hex. Realizing that there must have been some kind of vision scouting him out or something when just going to jump in, do some damage to Raging Potato, but no way that he finds that kill. Bacarino now has his level 6 up on the Beastmaster. He's got a smoke in his inventory. And looks like he's very keen to try and find some kind of immediate kill. I think they should be able to find it with just the Roar, but it would be nice to have the Sunray here to ensure the kill. And Ben-Hur needs to be careful. Stomp's gonna catch him. They set up. They've got the stun. Their refraction charges are gone. Ben-Hur's hexed up as well. The Beastmaster was waiting to try and kill the Invoker, but it's actually the Templar Assassin who's gonna end up going down. And Warriors Gaming, they know that the TA is the centerpiece, the crowning jewel of this lineup for Mineski, and they're just stomping all over it right now and making sure that Ben-Hur does not have a particularly... I don't think they're too afraid of the Vengeful Spirit. At this point, Mineski, they need ganks from the Beastmaster. Looking for this kill here on the Void. Do they have enough chains done? They've also got the lift and the bolt. Alright. Just barely enough. I was a little bit worried there that he was going to walk off, but... Ocarina doesn't find the mid kill, but he at least finds the off lane. Mineski keeping themselves competitive here. Roshan definitely going to be a very big deal for them, and this Ancient Stack as well for the TA. Because right now things are...
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, Invoker's already got his Midas. 8.5 minute Midas in an unfavorable matchup. 4-0-1 is his kill score. We haven't even really seen the Sunstrike Tower. It looks like he is finally going to be brought down, or maybe not. Wen has something else to say about that. He jumps in with the Chrono, catches onto 2. Jules runs into the Sunstrike, will be brought down. That's a mega kill streak. Faceless Void still going toe-to-toe. Becky comes running in, looking for some further action. I don't know if that was a bait or what, or if it was just perfect turnaround from the Void, but Invoker is getting out of control now, and they're gonna come over and try and clear this Ancient Stack, because they pulled the Vengeful Spirit away from top lane just to help clean up this Ancient Stack. It's a fairly healthy Ancient Stack. I think I would be remiss to call it a meager Ancient Stack, but it's still not that much gold for 2 cores to be sitting here and both working over for like a full minute. But I guess they just really need to get this Templar Assassin back into the game. Ben-Hur, before this, was actually the least farmed core. Garino does have another Roar ready to go, so might be seeing another smoke out of him before too long, especially with the Chronosphere being on cooldown. Cast has been given some space up on top lane to grab himself his level 6, so I'll have that working for them relatively soon, but the Invoker is looking just so scary, and this is the part of his build where he starts getting tankier. Starts building up his drum, where he might start looking towards a Yule Scepter potentially. Maybe he looks towards a straight up Ags after the drum. But all of those items are going to make him much more difficult to bring down. Pure Mineski right now. Raging Potato finds himself an Invis. They would like to get the spell on the Void, but it's going to take a little bit more than just a Magic Missile to keep him locked down. And Bakarino did grab a smoke, but he's just heading back down towards the bottom lane, right? Still got a dust on the... No, they don't have a dust on the... Does anyone have a dust? They do have a dust on a Raging Potato. He's been handed the dust by the Phoenix, make his way down, and look for this kill on the Clinks, but he does have his death packed up. Do they have a swap available? They do, but once again, it's the Void. Making his way in, he is accidentally going to Chronosphere his Clinks here. Not all that helpful, but he survives to get off a couple of auto attacks. Now the Echo Stomp comes in, and the Sunstrike, and the 2-man stun once again from Zaki. Follow it up with the Finger of Death. He's going to grab himself a double. He had Tome of Knowledge, but he's not even going to need it. It's up to level 7 very easily, and Warriors Gaming just responding perfectly to every single movement of Mineski right now. And how much gold does the line have? He's got 800 gold. Okay, so still going to take him a while to find this blink. I was thinking with all the kills that he's participated in, he might be a little bit closer, but he has had those 2 somewhat unfortunate deaths where Mineski just converged on him. So not necessarily crazy farm. They've got the level 6 now on the Phoenix, but there isn't really anything in the lineup to guarantee that the Supernova pops, so I don't think it's crazy valuable. Like, Invoker is looking for Raging Potato up on top lane, Cold Snap, and the Clinks damage. They're not even going to need the Sunstrike. Time around, it is Clinks picking up the kill, so Invoker's streak isn't going to get too much juicier. They will now turn their attention towards this tier 1 tower, with no rotations arriving from Mineski to try and save their 1 position player. There does have to be some suspicion on Warrior Gaming's part that there must be a gank. There must be some kind of movement happening if no one is trying to respond to this. And they would be right. They're looking for the Faceless Void down on the bottom side of the map. They've got the Roar and they've got the Lift, but as soon as that Roar animation starts up, Wen is out of there.
Radiant's bottom tower
We have the
is under
stolen
attack.
spirit from the Rubik, I think, scouting around. Yep, astral spirit making its way out. But no dice, no kill on the void just yet. They've got Ben-Hur running down towards bottom lane as well, but this is being scouted out by a cheekily placed Radiant Observer Ward, so they know that everybody is making their way down here.
Dire's top tower is under
Phoenix
attack.
looking for something on the back lines. Invoker, meanwhile, quite happily pushing top lane and threatening the tier 2. They will find the Elder Titan with the roar. It looks like with the Sun Ray damage, they will find that
Dire's top
kill.
tower is under attack.
Bringing him down, faces Void, trying to TP out in the tree line, but they get the vision with the Hawk. It looks like they will be able to find this kill as well. No, he's got the Time Walk. Gets a little bit further away. Might need to pop the Chrono to save himself, but he gets mana burned up by the Necrobook.
Dire's top
He will
tower
also be
is
brought
low.
down here.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Alright, so 2 kills and a tier 1 in exchange for a tier 2. Nice little trade for Mineski. Nice bit of gold lining their pockets following that one. Ben-Hur, 1 Mithril Hammer in towards his Desolator, so that Roshan potential slowly but steadily growing for Mineski, as they will also manage to get the tier 1 tower deny on the mid lane, so more economic damage done there. Zaki, I don't know where he found all this gold. I guess the tower deny and the tower last hit, along with those, along with the other tower that they took down on the top lane, is going to be where that Blink Dagger money comes from. But he almost has that one completed, just a little bit short, as Mineski actually goes straight into the Roshan pit. But this is Void. Oh no, he's actually a little bit far away right now. Spirit comes in. Bonk goes out, Roshan is super low, Raging Potato trying to finish this one off. Ben-Hur not going to get woken up by Roshan, the Aegis is still on the deck, but they can't get anyone in there. Supernova comes out, but looks like they're going to make very quick work of that with the Clinx's Strafe. Sun comes in, Gwen with the Chronosphere, catches it on the 3, and they're going to follow it up with the Meteor. Ben-Hur gets bursted down immediately, he's still got Aegis, cast in trouble, won't be able to get any more spells off. Ben-Hur just going to try for the kill here on Zaki, but there's the immediate Hex. He's going to be brought down, double kill for Ajit. Raging Potato trying to make his escape. I think he's going to try and deny to the Ancients, but gets cold snapped before he can even get close. And that is going to be a 5-0 wipe in favor of Warriors Gaming. I do not know about that Roshan decision from Mineski. I guess they thought, okay, Void is really far away, he just died, we just killed him, maybe we can sneak this and get out, but them a little bit too long. The Elder Titan, as always, extremely disruptive with the Echo Stomp, and WG just going from strength to strength. We're looking at about a 5k experience lead, about a 5k net worth lead. We've got vision all through the Dire jungle, but Jules is going to come in here with an Observer and a Sentry and clear some of that out. I really just don't know what Mineski can do from this board. Looks like Ben-Hur, okay, didn't actually opt for the Desolator, has gone for a Blink Dagger instead, so he is very much all in on finding a couple of kills in the next. I don't quite know how they're going to be able to do that. Very deep Radiant Observer Ward spots out the fact that Bacarino is making his way down towards bottom lane right now, and he's just running in circles trying to find some kind of escape, but he's just going to get chased down. Faceless Void even jumping in front of him to block the path. A little bit of insult to injury. Alright, what's Raging Potato got? He's got 2 bands of Elven Skin. Almost got a Dragon Lance. Well, I'd say almost, but it's still gonna take. Oh, is it on the courier? It is on the courier. Alright, we've got Dragon Lance completed for Raging Potato, so he's got some kind of an item to his name right now, but they have a Faceless Void just hitting their tier 2 with nobody standing behind him right now, because that's the kind of situation that they find themselves in. The Hawk is actually going to survive the Echo Stomp, however the Phoenix gets stomped, and looks like his Invis is just about to fade. So the Invis Phoenix is going to pop out mysteriously in the middle of nowhere. Rubik and the Phoenix both on bottom here. 2-man Chrono. Clinx finds the positioning. Chops down 1. Tries to get in a little bit further to find this kill on the cast, who steals the Chronosphere. Faceless Void not opting to drop the time dilation for whatever reason. Alright, well I said that they didn't have any ways to defend Supernova, but I get I was wrong. Pass with the big steals, though he's going to have to survive to actually use that one. Ocarino scouting for the Elder Titan, but he's going to make his way out. Does he consider roaring the courier? He's not going to end up doing it. And meanwhile, Invoker has already completed his Aghanim Scepter. 10.3k net worth on this guy. Level 13, maxed out Exhort. He's looking big. Potato does have a little bit of backup here on the mid lane, but I don't even know if that would be enough, and he's just gonna very smartly back himself away. Mineski just looks so lost. Their lineup is so heavily based around taking the Roshan and putting the Aegis on the Templar Assassin and doing something with it, but they do have a Roar, they do have a Smoke, they do have a Dream. They're gonna make their way onto the mid lane, pushing forward, but I believe there may have been a slight glimpse of this smoke to come running in. Zaki with the Finger of Death over into the Vengeful Spirit, Nana pops out, doesn't get off the best ice wall, and now the Chronosphere from Cast doing work. They're going to bring down the Invoker. They also look for more. The Lion's already dead. Supernova a little bit late to the party, but they secure those 2 kills. Cast also stealing the Finger of Death there. Alright, Cast God apparently. And he now almost has his Blink Dagger. Okay, that was pretty damn good.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They come in here, they're going to look towards the tier 1. Not a whole lot of commitment. Raging Potato is off in the jungle farming. They're hoping that this tier 1 tower is going to come absolutely for free, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. Faceless Void is waiting up on the high ground here. The Echo Stomp, and they've got the Chronosphere to delay this, and they see the Vengeful Spirit top lane because she just went up there to try and grab some farm, and that's going to be their opportunity to jump right in. Clinks with the double damage. It's only going to take a few swipes to find this kill, but he misses a couple of times uphill. Beastmaster almost escaped there, but you still find 3 kills. Tower does end up being destroyed by the Dire, so consolation prize for Mineski, but Warriors Gaming are gonna come right forward onto this tier 2 and make very quick work of it with the Desolator on the Clinks.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Raging Potato just needed to... I mean, I don't know if him being there makes all that much of it, but that was even more ammunition for WG as they saw him turn up on top lane. And they're just gonna keep on going. Why not? They forced the Glyph. They don't have the Chrono, so they do need to be a little bit careful, but Clinks can flink away from long range. Looks like Vengeful Spirit running forward here, looking for some kind of a swap initiation, but won't find anything, and for WG this could be a fake back. They could come wait back up on this high ground. Try and take the re-engage. Void sticking around, I guess no Chrono for 4D, maybe they'll just play safe. Yeah, alright. They're just gonna be safe. It's actually Mineski who are going to be making the aggressive play, going for the smoke. ET? Did he realize when he ran that spirit through that he actually ran it through a bunch of heroes? Might have heard the extra damage ticks happening. I don't know, this is a fairly obvious smoke as well, since creeps are actually already hitting the tier 2 on bottom. So yeah, ping's coming out from the Void. He's clued up here, and they're gonna smoke themselves. 6 seconds until Chronosphere. Phoenix is TPing away, the rest of the team sticking together. Being nice and safe, but clustering up maybe their downfall, actually. Heroes run in here, Raging Potato getting scouted out. As he comes down, they get the Hex off immediately. Bacarino with the Roar, looking over towards Zaki, gets the stun off. Drop the Chronosphere as well. Looks like Bacarino is going to be the first one focused. They drop everything on his head. Raging Potato is being focused. Clinks gets the defensive swell a little bit further away. Now trying for the TP on the high ground. Can they get him? Deafening Blast doesn't interrupt! Needed the Cold Snap! And that means that the Vengeful Spirit is actually going to end up surviving. Alright, Jules with the... Raging Potato with the man mode TP out. And it just ends up being a 1-for-1. Alright, I thought that was going to be much worse with the Chronosphere being deployed, but Mineski managed to cut their losses pretty nicely. And I guess for Warriors Gaming, they're just going to go farm up a bit. They don't have Chrono. This is kind of a recurring theme for their lineup, so I wonder if this is the kind of time where Wen is like, maybe I should consider going for an Aghanim set. So I guess we'll have to see what the item decision from him is going to be. Invoker has just gone for some Boots of Travel. It is not an awful Lincoln's game for him at all. There are some long-range ways to proc it, but it's very, very good against the Roar and the Swap, which I think are the 2 big ways that Mineski are going to be looking to kill him this game. Ben-Hur has completed his Desolator. Roshan respawning in about 45 seconds, so on the short side of things here, as Mineski just continue to stay grouped up as a 5-man squad, or 4-man squad with Bacarino off towards the mid lane. And kind of dangling the TA as bait. Is Invoker going to take a bite? He drops at the tornado, but he gets swapped in now into the middle of the Mineski lineup, straight into a lift. No time wasted from the Phoenix, just going to drop the Supernova to prevent any kind of counter initiation, but that might come back to bite them. The Roshan fight potentially ensues. Invoker does have a buyback available. There's an Invoker illusion in the pit. It is just barely going to scout this respawn. There's a TA trap as well, so both teams should be well aware of the fact that Roshan is back up in a couple of seconds' time. Oh, the Invoker illusion just barely sees it. Final seconds of life there. Elder Titan, time walk, blink forward from the Rubik. Cast looking for an additional kill as they will work on this tier 2 tower. Echo Stomp just to delay things. Looks like it should still be an easy grab. A little bit of a wasteful glyph. Just gonna leave the creeps to do it here. But it did, at the very least, keep Mineski there long enough for the Invoker to respawn and for Warriors Gaming to try and make some kind of a play over towards the pit. There is a dire Observer Ward scouting them at the moment. Do not deal with that Obs as they've already smoked and they're already making their way over, but this is a fast Roshan and the Sunstrike is only going to help. They're bringing it down very quickly. Vengeful Spirit already TPing out. They're trying to make their escape as quickly as they can. Lion tries to get the stun off, but he's just a fraction of a second too late. They're going to find the Phoenix up on the high ground here, but he dives away, revealing the smoke in the process, and Mineski get the Aegis for free and get out without any casualties. Maybe not. Maybe the Phoenix dies here. Yep. Nice Sunstrike.
Already dim and damp. Your mind snuffs out.
Are they gonna fight this? I mean, there's no Phoenix, but there wasn't. Oh, there is actually a Supernova once he respawns. There are 2 lives to contend with on this Templar Assassin. Looks like they want to try and chip a little bit. Still the double damage on the Clinks for a little bit. They have to be careful of these swaps. They're going to swap in the Void. That's a confusing decision as Wen just jumps right on out and then drops the Chronosphere back in. Cat trying to run in. Tanks the edge of the Chrono, drops it onto the Clinks, but that's all that they're going to find, and they end up losing 4 immediately. The Aegis being claimed. The Tornado is there to prevent the defensive blink out, and looks like Ben-Hur is going to be trapped in here and brought down a second time. Some buybacks out of Mineski, but Warriors Gaming claiming this high ground as their own. They're going to take down the tier 3 tower. The Sunray delays things a little bit along with the glyph. They still don't have the Templar Assassin, and without that, they don't have any damage. The Sunstrike comes in. Zack finds the initiation. Cash does manage to steal the finger. Who's he going to turn it towards? Bacarino needs some help. Can Cash actually do anything? The lift, he's got the finger, but doesn't like his chances. What's he going to do? Is he going to blink finger? Yeah, blink finger is the Void, but gets hexed up immediately by Zaki. Looks like he might pay for his crimes. No. Warriors Gaming just going to be content with taking the barracks here. And that is going to be the end of that, but weird swap from the Venge. The Void is extremely valuable. If they can get a swap into an immediate Roar or an immediate Lift, great. But this seemed like Void was just too ready for that, and ends up being somewhat wasted. I guess the thought process from Raging Potato is, if I swap somebody else, then the Void is going to counter-initiate. My initiation isn't going to be valuable, but they really needed that instant disable Void as soon as that. Not the best team coordination. It's going to end up costing them a lane of racks and a buyback on the Beastmaster. Despite having the Aegis, still not winning fights. Warriors Gaming pushing further and further ahead as we're now looking at about a 12k net worth lead and about a 10k experience advantage. Invoker has grabbed himself a Blink Dagger, so if he's super fast on the fingers, he might be able to get himself away from a swap even after it happens. But the big thing that this allows him to do is to start the fight from 2k range away. Not have to get anywhere close, let the Void do all the initiating, let his teammates tank the brunt of all the spells, and then come in with the big Tornado EMP Meteor Deafening Blast combo and really lay waste to Mineski. There is going to be a BKB on the Templar Assassin in a couple of seconds to help deal with some of those combos, but there are still other things to contend with from WG, especially the instant hex and the Chronosphere from Void. So Chrono is back off cooldown. Gwen is not opting to go for the Aghanim Scepter. He has picked up a Yasha here, so looks like just going to be picking up some additional damage. Some Manta Style, not too bad. Gives you the opportunity to potentially dodge a magic missile, gives you some more damage instances against the TA's refraction, gives you something else to chip the high ground with as well. I think a nice grab overall for him. We do have another BKB as well for Raging Potato, so all that farming that he's been doing has translated into some item progression for him. It looks like he's going to be maybe scouting out with this Shadow Tormentor a little bit. No, smoke up, making their way out. The Smoked Hawk leading the way. ET Spirit runs into something, and that's going to sound the alarm for the Elder Titan. Knows that something is up, and that means WG going to take up defensive positions around the side. ET's going to run in. He face tanks this, but he's actually got the natural order working on both of the big cores for Mineski. They do manage to drop off the Supernova, but Clinks with the strafe makes very quick work of it. They've lost 2 so far. Raging Potato is standing his ground and trying to auto-attack down the Invoker, but he's not really doing anything good defensive or staff away. Buys a little bit more space. Nana is actually dropping pretty low here, but his team is just cleaning up the rest of Mineski. That's going to be 5 for 1 at the end of the day, and that should be easy second laner Brax. Okay, bit of an early strafe pop, but whatever. And Mineski, it just seems like once again maybe some minor issues with the drafts here. They tried to go for the aggressive tri lane. Even if they had found the aggro tri, I don't know if it would have done all that much work. I suppose Clinks is kind of weak. Tri v tri is relatively squishy, so maybe that would have worked out all right for them. But didn't have anything to defend Nova. Didn't really have a whole lot to teamfight around the Phoenix, and it's not like the teamfight lineup from WG materialized out of nowhere in the final picks. They picked ET and they picked Faceless Void as their first 2 heroes. I really feel like Mineski knew what was going to be coming at them this game, and
Dire's courier
kind of
has
just
been
got outplayed. Courier even going to snipe the courier here, picks up Octarine Core. And with another Chronosphere in 10 seconds, looks like WG just gonna push down this bottom lane. We've got a Daedalus up for the Clinks, so his damage is absolutely crazy now. It's actually an S&Y for the Void, not the style that I was talking about. I mean, all Mineski can do at this point is hope that they find that perfect team fight. Throw her off, burst down the Invoker or the Clinks. It can burst the Clinks, they can eventually stop the Supernova from being focused down, but then there's always the Void, who's also going to be a problem. Comes in, tries to get the mana burn out onto Ben-Hur, but he managed to blink himself a little bit further away. Beastmaster is hiding in the trees, but this isn't a blink Beastmaster, this is a wild access to the trees and try and find the roar Beastmaster. Do get the defensive swap out from Raging Potato. He's going to tank this gank for Ben-Hur, but can he repay him with all that much damage? He won't be able to. He drops down in 3 auto attacks from the Clinks. Ultra kill for Ajit, and that is going to be the GG called time around. Mineski will not watch their tier 4s fall as a WG.Unity, eliminating them from the NanYang Championship Season 2 SEA qualifiers and moving forward to play against Execration in the Grand Finals. Extremely convincing 2-0. I'm really looking forward to these guys playing up against Execration in the finals. Should be a really good series. Thank you guys for joining me. It was great having you along for the ride. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage here. I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Big thank you to Lyrical for observing and for